Hello, everybody, and welcome to a trailer breakdown of the new NASCAR 21 Ignition game that is going to be released on October 28th, 2021. Pre-orders are today on the 12th. Now, I meant to get this video out yesterday. It did not happen because I had a lot of issues with recording my screen for some reason, but it's been taken care of, and here we are today. So, this will release on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, with a next-gen version coming later after the release of the initial game. Standard Edition, $59.99. Champions Edition will be $89.99. Season Pass, $29.99. And monthly DLC will be $14.99. You can get the Champions and get the Season Pass in the monthly. Me, personally, I think I would stick to the Standard and maybe get a Season Pass or something. I have no interest in the Champions, but maybe you do, and we'll get into that here shortly. Let's go ahead and watch the trailer. I can't use the music from it, but we are going to watch it together for the first time, and boom. Well, I have seen it before. I'm not going to lie about that. I have seen it, but we're going to break it down as this rolls along here. So, beautiful shot there of Miami Homestead. I've got to say, the attention to detail with the catch fencing is very impressive. Was not expecting that. There we go. We got a little shot there of them pushing it back. We see that little data pad. We'll talk about that later on here. But this is the full trailer. If you haven't checked it out, it will be linked in the description below. You can check it out there. Nashville Super Speedway, how about that? Very cool. And there's Nashville again. 5. And this is the countdown part. 4, and 3, and 2, and then my man, Kurt Busch, 1. Boom. Here we are racing. And you can see they're using that Unreal Engine, so the graphics have been improved, although there are parts of this particular trailer that I'm like, I don't know if it was improved or if it was just kind of, used in different sections of the actual development process, essentially. Okay, so let's go ahead and break down the trailer. Everyone, ESRB rating right there. Of course, we move on in. Here's an opening shot at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and they used Las Vegas quite a few times here in this trailer, but the lighting looks very, very nice here. It does have that Unreal Engine lens flare I'm not a huge fan of. Hopefully we can remove that, as well as the amount of motion blur that is in this trailer is pretty staggering. But here we are in the infield, and one thing that you notice, there's some cars out there on the track, is that the attention to detail is there for the infield, and that's something that's been missing in all the past NASCAR games over the last few years, especially with the Heat Series. The infield felt dead and kind of empty. And this brings something new to the table. It brings, a little bit of life to the garage experience and stuff. Now, here's a shot of them using the huge, monitors that are at tracks, but they're using real footage instead of the game footage or what's going on the game. I'd prefer it to be that, but, some people like this stuff, but that's not for me. Look at that Musco lighting looking very, very nice, well modeled. And also, you notice they show the heck out of these number signs that are on the poles, and they look really, really good there. Here's a shot here looking back from the garage to the track at Homestead, and it looks beautiful, and you can see the crowd there. Sometimes the crowd looks better than other places. It seems to be track kind of dependent, but you can see a person like they're kind of swaying back and forth, and it doesn't look like they're using the same people over and over and over and over and over again. They are, but it's quite a few options there, and you can see just how lively people are. And this guy here is even waving as the cars go by, and Kurt Busch there in the one car, very nice, and Bubba Wallace right behind him. There you go. Which you'll see these two racing here, and it looks like they used the same race a few times in this trailer, because you'll see Bubba behind Kurt Busch later on here at this track as they're racing. And William Byron there as well. And they go whizzing by, and here's that first shot of the attention to detail we're talking about in the catch fence. It looks absolutely stunning what they have done here. Now, there's that Unreal Engine lens flare I'm not a huge fan of. Another thing is that I don't know what it is about marketing in games recently in the last couple years, but they all use this dusk sunset. Now, I know this is Martinsville, and they have lighting there now, and that's a big deal, but at other tracks, they're doing this too. And it's like, we get it, dusk that look of the orange and everything. They seem to really use that a lot in trailers, and I'm not a huge fan of that. That's just me. Maybe not you. Is that Ross Chastain flying by? I think so. And you can see there you got a driver up there on the billboard on the monitor up there. And these pylons, these scoring pylons, actually seem to be animated and work, which is really cool. And you'll see that later on at Nashville. So here's a first shot of us actually seeing what's going on with the cars racing on the track here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And they're showcasing, those new LED green lights showing that the race is going green here. And you can see we got Hendrick Power in the front. You got Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and then you got Kyle Busch there, Ryan Blaney, and that I can't tell if that's Harvick or if that's somebody else. It looks like Harvick. Hard to say who that is because it dips out right there. But you can see the track looks pretty similar to what we've seen in Heat here. Nothing too impressive graphics-wise with the grass there. I'm not a huge fan of the color of the grass. You'll see in a lot of other shots that it's that pale kind of yellowish dead green grass going on there. But this is the first time we've seen the cars actually on the track racing each other, and the only racing I see happening, which maybe it's true to the package of the car, but Joey Logano back there battling, looks like that's the only race I see. Oh, there's somebody else in the back. I'm sorry, I was rudely interrupted by Windows there with a pop-up. Gotta love it. But what I was gonna say is that I hope we're not gonna get this freight train style of racing we've seen in games. Oh, there's somebody else racing there right before it dips out completely. But you can see as we rock the image back and forth, they're pretty freight trainy here. And I'm hoping that's not going to be the case, especially, it being early on in a race or something. I have no clue. We move on to Homestead, Miami Speedway. Now here is where things look much better as Cole Custer and it looks like Truex Jr. about to fly right over the start-finish line. And that is the attention to the detailing with the textures. The textures seem to be pretty impressive here. Look at the cracks along the grooves of the track, and it looks really nice here. Even the rubber that's across that section there. And cars go flying by. So yeah, you got Custer, you got Truex Jr., Larson, and then you have, looks like that is Ryan Blaney in the 12. Yep. And the 48 of Alex Bowman. Yep. And we move on to the next shot here. And this is big. We have placeholders. So apparently all the drivers have been face scanned in laser scanned. And I'm sure they will do that for the crew. At least, maybe one person. But these are placeholders because these guys look identical. But here in the back, you can see, if you've ever been to a NASCAR race in the garage area, they have these huge cutout windows here where you can look in and watch them working on the cars and see the drivers and stuff. Very cool. If you don't have a hot pass where you're walking in and out of the garage, you can just kind of view through these viewing areas. And I think that's so cool. What a small attention to detail. I do like this a lot. And you'll see this movement here of the head to the right. Now, this might be an animation, similar to the F1 series. We know there's ex-Codemasters guys that are involved in this project. And this is kind of a tip of the hat, per se, to the F1 series when you're getting pushed back. So they're pushing the car back and getting ready to get out there on track. And DoorDash shows us that we are Bubba Wallace. So this is the 23 car right here. And we can see that side mirror there. Now, this is something that's really cool. That side mirror there and that mirror up there looks really well detailed. And I'm wondering how much control we actually have the car in the garage area. That's going to be interesting to see. But the attention to detail is here. It looks like the inside of a modern stock car today. And on the left-hand side, that looks like it's Brad Keselowski there next to him. But very cool attention to detail with that. So let's go and continue to push him out. And we are greeted with this shot. Looks like we're at Daytona. That looks like Daytona. The grass looks very nice here. I like the modeling of the grass there. That looks really good. And the trees, like those palm trees, look really nice as well. So hats off to them for that. Now, there's some things about this trailer that are kind of jarring in some ways. Sometimes the assets seem like assets we've seen in the Heat games, and then sometimes we'll see assets that are brand new and we haven't seen before. So this is the first time we see the data pad, and we're going to go into that a little bit later on, what's going on with the data pad and what you can expect. But essentially, you can jump in here and use this tablet, and you can change out your setup stuff. You can change out the options of the game. And you could also see what is going on the track in real time with the other drivers that are out there, say in a practice or something. So very cool that we're going to have that added to the game. Geico restart zone here. And look at all the cars, all motion blur going by. You can't really see there, but this shot to me is all about that lighting, man. Look at that night lighting. That looks really, really, really good. And also the crowd. Look at the movement of the crowd. When we just rock this image back and forth, you can see how lively the crowd is right there. Very nice. It looks really, really good there. So we get to this shot here, which looks like it might be a little bit of gameplay, but probably not gameplay. Might be a replay or something. But Denny Hamlin getting in a crash here with the 41 of Custer. And we see that there's not really much of a damage model that's being showcased here. We don't know the settings that are in the game, of course, but it's safe to say that the damage model is not going to be as extensive as some would hope, I would say. The roof flaps are working very nicely. You see them kind of popping up there and going back and forth. And so Cole Custer gets into the 11 and pushes him around, and they go, no, that's all you're going to see. But that's not all you're going to see, I promise you. Here we are at Martinsville, and again, there's that, sun going down. I get it. It's Martinsville. They want to turn the lights on, but there you go. There's that sunset, sweet sunset spot, and a shot, and there's that lens flare that I don't like the Unreal Engine lens flare. It's just me. And here's back at Homestead we were talking about before. There's Kurt Busch in front of you, and then the 23 of Bubba Wallace. Now, I don't know what it is. It's something to do with this shot here, but the wheels look like roller skates. They look tiny on these cars right there. Very strange. It could just be a visual glitch here. I don't know, man. But you can see them racing along here, and then we get a shot here next, and we are at Texas Motor Speedway, and this is really cool because we get to see what it's like with racing other cars in the cockpit view. I don't know if this is a replay or if this is it probably is a replay since we can't see the digital gauge there and all that. But this is Kyle Busch making a true Kyle Busch move here on the back of the 19 very aggressively, right off the back nose to get a run all the way down into turn 3 off of Truex Jr. there. But you can see some cars racing next to each other over there. That looks pretty good. And look at the spacing there. Not bad at all. But we still don't really have a good idea of what to expect. Now the infield, look at that. That is completely packed with RVs and all that. It looks really, really, really nice. And I like the sky color here. That looks really good. So here, that's looking nice. And we move on to this shot. This is, it reminds me so much of that aerial kind of track cam in quotation marks that we had in Heat. And I'm not a huge fan of that one per se, but I think they just did that for the trailer. You can see they just fly it down into a car. But we're starting to see Bristol Motor Speedway at night, and man, does it look nice. Then we get this shot here back at Las Vegas. No, we're either at Las Vegas or at Charlotte. I think we're at Las Vegas, though. And Ryan Blaney in the garage area here. You can see the haulers are all lined up here. Something really, really, really cool is all this attention to detail. Even the golf carts back there. I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to control the cars back here, or if that's even possible. I hope so. I hope that, they bring that part of the game, that part of racing to us, what goes on behind the wall instead of just on the track. And then that pans out to this shot here, and Nashville Super Speedway is in here, including all the tracks will be in here except for Auto Club and Indianapolis oval configurations. And you will have dirt Bristol, which is really cool. We'll get into all the details later on as we move along here, but this is a cool shot because it is animated. Look at that. The little pylon turns from lap 8 to lap 9, and the 15 cars leading. And okay. And Ryan Newman's running in second. Very cool. And Truex Jr. and very nice. Okay, let's move on. So Nashville Super Speedway's in the game, but here's something I wanted to show you. The grass texture here, not that great looking. And then here's where things start to fall apart in this shot, is the lighting doesn't look like Unreal Engine to me right here at all, does it? It looks similar to what we've seen in the past. The lighting does not look believable there at all. It looks pretty bad. And then over here, we've got a few assets just kind of thrown there, and then a back dead space here. And these assets look a little familiar to me, but that's being nitpicky, and the trees and everything there. We're not going to see a whole lot of that. We're not going to be flying around, so it's okay. Here's back in the garage area, and this looks like during practice or something because Kevin Harvick is pulled in here. But over here on the right-hand side, look at the steam coming off the car here. You can see it's animated, And what I've noticed is it looks like it's clipping through the car. You see the source of the particle, of the effects here, coming out of the right side. So after the cars are out on the track and they're running hot, they come in, especially if they're taped up during qualifying. They're going to come in here, and you're going to see that overspray shooting out of the car there. And that's what this is here, but it looks like it's clipping through there. So I hope they're going to fix that, because that seems like something that hasn't been taken care of there, or there's some other glitch happening there that I'm not sure what it is. And we move on to the next shot, back at Nashville Super Speedway 2. Now, this is not such a good thing because it keeps showing this freight train in a line AI style of racing, and I'm hoping that that's going to not be the case here, but they are showcasing that. And the reason why I say that is because you've seen, they have a lot of RF Factor 2 things they're throwing back to, saying like we're using their physics and all this stuff, and the people that are involved with that, and we know how bad the AI are in R Factor 2, so hopefully that is not the case here. Maybe they have made strides with that. But in the background, you got Gladeville Utility District. You've got a nice little tent here set up, some RVs, some shuttle buses, and some fans and stuff. Very cool, attention to detail. And also, I got to say, the track seemed pretty flat. You don't see a whole lot of undulation there where like you see bumps and stuff. You're seeing the textures, and they look really, really, really good, honestly. That texture of the track right there is very, very nice. And we move on to this shot here. Looks like we're at Road America. So this is where it starts the countdown, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is what we came to do. Here's the 5. Looks very, very nice. They're showing you the attention to detail that they have put into the little pit road signs because they use them a lot here. You can even see the wire coming out there for the lighting. Very cool indeed. But off on the left-hand side, you can see the crowd is pretty lively here. Not a whole lot of fans up in the stands right there at Road America. And you see the cars go whizzing by. This is a nice shot here at Miami, Homestead. And you can see that galvanized pole here. Look at the cables and all the attachments. Very, very big detail put into the catch fence. And that's something that we didn't have in the heat games at all. They looked terrible, and especially with that drawing distance line we always saw. Hopefully that's been rectified here. We won't have to worry about it. All right, here comes the countdown. So 4, and we got Harvick. We got shot here. This shot right here looks like we're at, yeah, it is Indianapolis, because you can see the pagoda, and you can see the whole pylon back there. So this is in the Indianapolis road course configuration, hence the cars being faced the other way. It looks like it's kind of a pre-race thing, or I can't tell. I don't know what's going on because they keep moving the sun around for these morning/dusk shots that I'm not a fan of. A lot here in this trailer. So there you go. You can see a nice attention to detail of the actual tires there on the cars. To me, the cars don't look that more impressive than anything we have seen in the Heat series and Heat 4 and Heat 5 and stuff. 3, I like the lighting there. That lighting looks actually pretty decent there. And you see the crowd back there kind of throwing their hands in the air like they just don't care back there. And then we get the shot of Bowman here at the track, and you see how spaced out it is, which is, a lot more realistic with the fan attendance that we have seen in 2021. You can see this car is absolutely slammed down. Look at that. Very nice. Okay, moving on. Yeah, he's in the car. Okay. Yep. 2, we got Brad Keselowski. I love this shot here. This is probably at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I can't really tell, but look at the lighting up there. Very, very nice looking lights, and look at how it hits the crowd. That is a very cool shot right there. I like that one a lot. And this shot here is fantastic. So we do know it has been confirmed they're going to have pre-race and post-race TV broadcast style things happening here. So a lot of pre-race stuff. We're going to have these cinematic cameras, hence the reason to have high quality assets here. And the textures need to be on point when you're getting shots like this, saying like, welcome to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, blah, 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 blah. You want to have all this stuff like looking really nice and not terrible like we've seen in, the presentations of iRacing, because those assets are so old and out of date. But here we can see that scoring pylon on the right-hand side, and looks very, very nice, all lit up there. But attention to detail here on the palm trees look really, really good here. Las Vegas Motor Speedway looking fantastic. The safer barrier down there looking very nice all the way around. Not a whole lot to say other than look at the whole attention to detail in the infield, man. They got to be doing some stuff with that, similar to the F1 series where, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff happening. I'm hoping that's going to be the case here, as we only have the Cup Series in this game. We'll get into that in a minute. Kurt Busch's sign lit up at night. So we're at 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So we came to do. Las Vegas Motor Speedway all lit up. Look at the spotters up there, all lit up by the lights. Very realistic and very cool looking. Very nice attention to detail there. And then, boom, we go into this. We came to do this, to come race and crash cars, and that's what we're going to be doing here. So opening shots at Bristol Motor Speedway at night. Looks very, very nice. I must say, the lighting here at Bristol looks probably the most realistic thing I've seen in any NASCAR game when it comes to lighting. This looks pretty damn impressive. Chase Elliott, of course, out front. Moving along here, you get attention to detail. And look at this. Now, the car hits a little bit of a bump right here, and you'll see the car's loaded up on that left front as it comes off the corner. So the cars seem like, you can see the physics working as they should. The car is actually behaving very realistically here coming off the corner, because you can see he's pointed right at the camera here, but as he gets off the corner, he's going to be driving that car up next to the wall as straight as possible, and you can actually see it when we rock the image here. Let me go ahead and do that. How the car is kind of loose coming off the corner like you would be at Bristol. Very cool. And you see Logano back there battling Larson. It looks like they got the same drivers kind of together for this trailer. They might have done that on purpose. I don't know. Here's a shot at Martinsville, and you can see that curbing there on the inside and the huge apron area that is pretty much no. You can't race down there anymore. And here is Kevin Harvick. Looks like he is getting into the right front of the 48 of Bowman as they get into the corner, and Kyle Busch right in front of him there. But this is the first time we've seen a car getting loose, besides, in the crash, which we'll get into later on. But he's getting loose off the corner there, which is pretty common with Martinsville, to be perfectly honest with you there. But a little contact there, and he gets it going straight again. Here we have the Nellis straightaway. So this is at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Another sign of freight train racing in the front, but in the back we see some cars side by side back there. And this is another thing where I start to see the graphics look kind of different than we have seen. There's no consistency in the graphics in this trailer for some reason. Like, I think we can all agree with that. So I think they chose different parts of development to grab different screenshots or videos and stuff. So that's what we're seeing here. Another, dusk shot here of the cars going by. You can see the track. Hard to say what kind of details in the track because it's so blurred out from the motion blur. But you can see we got a nice Sports Clip Haircuts ad going on right there in that shot. And then we are at a shot of, looks like Texas, or we're at Charlotte. I think we're at Charlotte here. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Yeah, this is Charlotte. And you can see each pylon looks like it does in real life. It's different from track to track. They're not using the same asset there, so I'm really happy to see that. Attention to detail here with the crowd and everything. Looks very nice here. The catch fence looks really well done. And some side-by-side racing there. Maybe they're like, hey, it's not just going to be, single file. And what I've noticed here is look at how dirty the cars are on this side here. I don't know if it's a matter of it's supposed to be shadowing the stuff, but it looks like the cars might accumulate dirt and debris and marbles from the track and everything here as time goes on. And that's the first time I've seen that, or maybe I've noticed it. And here's Blaney racing, and we get this back shot here. So we're at Las Vegas. So we're at Charlotte, Las Vegas, and then Texas. And it's hard to say if this is That's the problem, right? Is that Texas and Charlotte looks so damn familiar or similar. But here we are back at Texas. You can tell by the little stars going down the straightaway here. Bubba Wallace and a shot over there looking at Christopher Bell. And it looks like, is that Chastain in front of him? I think it is. And we got what looks like 4 wide racing up there. It's just 2x2. It's just a optical illusion there because we're looking all the way down there. So here we go. First crash in the actual trailer. And this is so crucial because I don't know what it is, but NASCAR fans, especially gaming fans, go crazy about crashes, crash damage, crash physics, all that stuff, which I get it. It's part of racing. But to me, I'm more interested in the racing product than the crashes. But regardless, they're showing off some pretty cool stuff here because we're going to see a hit here right off the right front of the car, and the roof flap is coming up here on the nose there, and it gets spun around, and Byron goes boom right into him, and you can see that fly around. Look at that. Look at the attention to detail on that roof flap. That looks very realistic. And then we see, boom, car gets into the wall, and then watch the 77 is going to get right into the tail of him there and pop him into the air on the left side here. So right about there. There you go. You can't tell with the motion blur. What I thought originally was maybe the tire separated off of the car, which was really cool. And then when I slowed it down, not the case at all, because you see it pops right back in there. So it's a motion blur artifact there. But here's the car nosed into the wall. We can see scrapes and little debris here on the right side. We're going to see some sparks in a minute. But as the 77 gets into the right rear quarter panel, it lifts that car up onto the left side. That's pretty cool. And to me, this shows how much weight is in those cars. Look at that. I mean, it pops off the ground. It comes right there. It goes around. So you see we have debris shards here flying off the car. This is very similar to what we already have in the Heat games as far as damage model goes. So if people were expecting this state-of-the-art damage modeling, I don't think we're going to see that. However, look at the suspension travel here on the right front tire. That looks really nice. Whenever the car lifts up into the air, watch how that thing just pulls down like crazy right here. Look at that. That is really cool. So, you know, those things are held on by that rope. So even if that whole thing's separated right there, it's hard to say because they cut away really quick here. Now, I call this shot here that has the poop cloud in it because I don't know what's going on with the dirt texture here, but it looks very, very out of place compared to everything else on the track. And effects wise, because the smoke looks really well done, because you can see the smoke, you know, right there. That looks pretty darn good. And then we get the poop cloud. So I'm not sure what that one's about. Here we are, Texas, and flying by, and look at the infield grass looking very dead. And maybe they're, you know, throwing back to the fact that it's been really, really hot at all these tracks this year, and a lot of dead grass. So it looks like we're at Talladega, is what it looks like to me here. And the big one is happening, Austin Cindric. This looks like we're on board with Denny Hamlin getting into Austin Cindric here as he spins around. And this is a high-speed crash here, but they don't show you anything more than that. So it's hard to gauge what's going on here. But you can see the cars are pretty tightly packed here on Pack Racing at Talladega. So very cool to see that attention to detail. And maybe that's a good thing because we don't see everybody in a single file line freight training it around the place. So there you go. And we have Denny Hamlin being run down by Brad Keselowski here at Las Vegas as the sun's going down. And they're just showing that glare of the cars. Looks very nice in Unreal Engine. Now here we get this shot right here. This looks straight out of Heat. Does this not look like Heat 4, Heat 5? Heat 4 and Heat 5 are the same damn game, but do they not look the same? There's no attention to detail on the track at all here. And then this looks very Heatish. The car looks very Heatish. I'm wondering if they use parts of this when it was like so early on in development before the polish, because this does not look impressive at all graphically compared to what we've had. Interesting to see that shot there being used. And even the coloring there, it has these like screaming, I'm on the Unity engine vibes right here and not Unreal. But moving on, here's Texas. You see a little raised little Texas Motor Speedway logo there inside the safer barrier there, which is realistic, very cool. And a nice shot of the cars going by. There's that grass I'm not a big fan of. So we've got, looks like Harvick in front, and then Kurt Busch, and then is that Truex Jr.? No, that's a Camaro, so that's Austin Dillon there. Hard to say with that motion blur there. DiBenedetto and all those guys. Boom, and bam, NASCAR 21 ignition. Oh yeah, baby. And then here you go. Pre-order today if you want to, and then boom, there's everything sliding in. The game will release on October 28th, 2021. So let's talk about the game and what you can expect from it. So if you pre-order today, you get a standard or a champion edition. You're going to get the game 2 days early, and you're going to get a traction paint scheme for the car. Now, Traction is a website out there that covers this kind of game, sim racing, things like that. So they have their own partnership there, which is really cool, and you'll be able to get that. Now, Champions Edition will have Bill Elliott as a playable racer, included with the Season Pass, and 3 more legends down the road. So if you get the Season Pass, you're going to get that, and you're going to get the Season Pass if you get the Champions Edition. This is the stuff that I just don't care about, and it's ridiculous. The Standard Edition game is $60. Champions is $90. That is absolutely asinine. This game better be something special. I must say that to be spending that kind of money on something like that. And I'm not a big fan of this pricing model at all. But I'm going to be unbiased here. Included with that, you're going to have 3 more legends down the road. They haven't been announced yet. Who knows who they will be? And then you're going to get an in-game career boost. I'm trying to not be biased here, but that's so stupid. I hate it. I don't like pay to win. And there you go, in-game career boost. So there is that. Let's talk about other parts of the game. Cup Series only. There's no Xfinity. There are no trucks. There are no, super late models or anything like that. And the reason for that, they said, is because they want to focus on one car set. Now, we're going to have Dirt Bristol, so we're going to see what these physics are like on the dirt, which is cool because then we can see how that would be implemented later down the road. However, they said they don't want the cars to all drive the same. They wouldn't want to split up their resources and have everybody just work on, 3 different series rather than just one. Because if you work on just one, you can make it really, really good. And I think it's important for them to do that on their first game. So I do agree with this decision to just be the Cup Series only. It's like, the F1 games. It's just, and I think that was their mentality. They're like, F1, we just have F1. Like, I know they have the F3, the other stuff in there too, but the core series is the F1 series. And same thing here. The Cup Series is going to be what you are going to get. So 40-player online. There's something about the online system I'm not a fan of. They're not going to have private lobbies, and that is, in my opinion, a bad move. They're moving towards this playlist party matchmaking system, and they're going to have 2 playlists to choose from. They're going to have a shake and bake hopper, which is just intermediate and super speedway tracks. They're going to have the bump and run hopper, which will be the short tracks and the road courses. So there's options there. I don't see any options in there for customizing your season or whatever you're doing. And this is really bad for leagues, especially the fact that they're going to have to bring random people in, get everybody in together as a league, and then kick out people and then start the race. It seems like we're going backwards when it comes to functionality and multiplayer. Not too pleased with that so far from what we've heard. So it is on the Unreal Engine. We've talked about that. R-Factor 2's driving physics. They keep throwing this in there. We don't know if it's going to be like a direct copy over. I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be taking the best parts of certain things or taking that style of physics and putting that into the game, which is, I'm welcoming that. I'm all for it. It's got to be better than anything we've had in a while. So really excited to see what that is going to entail. Like I said, broadcast pre-race and post-race replays. We don't know anything about the replay. We don't know about caution replays. That was never mentioned. Incredibly, they did not bring that up. I think they should, because that's something that everybody's wanted for a very long time. You get that caution now. I think it'd be really cool if you had that, and then you had the voiceover work with that as well. And we'll talk a little bit about the voiceover because MRN is back after a very long hiatus from NASCAR games. So you're going to have the pre-race and the post-race replays when it comes to broadcast style. Track-specific 2021 aero and horsepower package. Each track, and you'll see this in the different screenshots, the cars are actually looking pretty darn accurate to the track. So, you're at a 750 horsepower package. It's got that different spoiler on it, and then you have the 550 has a different spoiler on it, so on and so forth. So they have done that track specific, which is really cool. I do like that, and not to mention that that's going to just not only be a visual thing, it's going to be in the physics as well. So we talked about the MRN voiceover. That's going to be during the garage and pit road before sessions. Very cool to see that. I want to feel like I'm there on race day and get amped up to get in my car and go racing, and that's what they're striving for here, similar to what they do in the F1 game. So the pre-race build-up and the post-race review are aiming for a broadcast level quality is what they're saying. So we don't know what broadcasters are involved in this. If we have guys from Fox, we have guys from NBC, We don't know. They didn't say. Or if it's just going to be MRN, which is, it seems like an easier ask to get the MRN guys than some of the bigger guys. But who knows? You know, we've seen Rick Allen work with them in the past and Jeff Burton and stuff. So we'll see how that works out. Career mode. Not a whole lot here with the career mode. Build reputation to get contract offers, negotiate contracts to drive for better teams, and there is no championship mode. So very watered down career. However, it's their first game, so we can't expect that. Official tracks. You're going to have all of them that you would expect, including COTA, Daytona Roval, and the Nashville Super Speedway, dirt, Bristol and stuff. We do know that. Now, paint booth. This is the only image I have found of the paint booth, and it looks, interesting. They are saying that this paint booth is going to be better than anything we've seen before, so we'll take their word for that. Who knows? Let's talk about the data pad. Whenever he hands him that data pad when he's out there in the car, what is that going to do? You're going to have the menu at the track. Depending on the session you're in, you're going to see what the other drivers are doing. We talked about that. You can work on your setup and change options. That's a big deal because in the heat games, you had to back out to get to your options and change them. And this is going to be on the fly. So very, very cool that we're going to have that option to us. Now, the crew chief, it's been highlighted here. They're talking about that you can interact with them before you go on the track, which is kind of cool. I don't know what is going to be involved with that. Now, they did mention that you're going to be able to change your settings for a pit stop anytime during the race. So I think that's where that is going to come, where you're talking to the crew chief and figuring out what your strategy is for pit road, which is really cool. Something that's been missing for a while. We need that option to change out just 2 tires, make an adjustment here, change the track bar, etc. Those are things that are crucial to NASCAR racing, and we have not seen that in the games at all. So replays, TV style replays, trackside on car, and aerial cams. We've seen a mixture of those. And we don't know what's going to be going on with that. If you're going to be able to remove the HUD, I would imagine they would. I would imagine they're listening to what people have been saying, I hope, and they're going to have that option to remove the HUD so we can get cool shots, etc. So, victory lane, we talked a little bit about the face scanning. So, all the drivers have been face scanned. So they're not going to be just like a, oh, that kind of looks like Chase Elliott. That kind of looks like, no, it's supposed to be face scanned now. So, victory lane will have a full sequence we've seen before, them celebrating stuff like that, but also they're going to have the correct trophies for each track, which is something new and very cool. Pit stops, we talked about that. You can change that anytime on the track. I want to make sure that I covered that. So let's talk about the difficulty and assists you can expect in the game. AI, novice to extreme are your options. There will be a visual racing line. You'll have steering assistance, braking assistance, and ABS. Traction control and spin recovery, and they're using the word simulation here. They're saying if you turn all this stuff off, you can have that true simulation experience, which is a big word to use in the NASCAR gaming community. So excited to see that. I'm not a fan of the word simcade, so I'm not going to call it that. It's either going to be an arcade racer, or it's going to be a simulation. Who knows? All these labels, who cares? But they're saying that. Another big thing here. Confirmed artists on the soundtrack so far is Lynyrd Skynyrd, Imagine Dragons, Aerosmith, and Luke Combs. And Luke Combs is like one of my favorite country artists currently. So very excited to see some big, big names on the soundtrack. And that's going to be a big deal. I know some people, like me, I'm a YouTuber. So when I play the game, I go and I have to turn off the music. But if I just go in there and play by myself, I will keep it on. And it brings you back to those, days of playing NASCAR 98, etc. Upgrade to next-gen cars is on the roadmap, so I do want to stress that before the questions come flooding in. Yes, they will have the next-gen car. This releases like a week before the end of the season, which is probably because the game got pushed back. It got delayed. It did. They said they were going to be in quarter 3, and we're going to be in quarter 4, so it definitely got delayed. It's going to be a week before the end of the actual NASCAR season, but they will have a update for free where you will be able to get the next gen car, which is going to be all about NASCAR in 2022. So that's going to be interesting for sure. Let's go through some of these screenshots before we get out of here. All right, the first shot here, very nice at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. all lit up at night. You can even see the lighting off the 78 car kind of falling down onto the car. The green light there, you can see it kind of splashing out. And the lighting back here on these palm trees looks really good. Now, this is a big deal because everybody was like, I don't know if it's going to be freight trainy, blah, 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 blah. We don't know how many laps we're in on this. It's kind of hard to say from here because it's blocked by that Musco lighting there. But look at all the cars side by side next to each other here. This is a good sign, if you ask me. So excited to see what this will bring. That looks really good. This screenshot makes me excited. Next shot is Blaney going down the Nellis straightaway here, and you can see there is that massive spoiler and the side little fin there as well. So that's what we were talking about. You know, visually, you're going to see the change in the package based on the track, and you're going to also have that physics-wise. So very cool. The lighting looks really good here, and I'm not seeing any lines up ahead in the catch fence, which is wonderful to see. Maybe they masked that. Who knows? Musco lighting on the inside looks very realistic, very nicely done. And the catch fence looks beautiful here. That's all I can say. This shot here has a little bit of a retraction to everything else. Now, I can't tell if this is Watkins Glen or Road America here. I think it's Watkins Glen. No, it's Road America because we don't have the grandstand there. So here we are. And the coloring here, I don't know what's going on with that. If they're trying to doctor these up a little bit, they're adding like a photo filter. I don't know, but this purplish blue isn't happening for me. I don't care for this. This has a strong NASCAR heat vibe to it. But you know, who knows? It could just be a placeholder for now, as they were early on in development. This is a beautiful shot here at Las Vegas at night. You can see the lights lighting up the crowd as it goes around, and you can even see the dark spots in between where the change of the light is. Very cool attention to detail there. That's just the Unreal Engine, you know, at its finest. And we can see the front of Chase Elliott's car looks very nice indeed. And the grass looks really good here too. So that's a very nice screenshot. Another shot on the back straightaway here of Blaney, all lit up by the lights. You can see the lighting here going down the back stretch. Looks very, very nice. The Musco lighting on the interior looking very good. And the emergency vehicles all standing by there as well. Here's a shot of Chase Elliott's car in the garage. Austin Dillon and Keselowski on each side. And you can see the little pulley system here for the garage doors. Looks very, very realistic. All the attention to detail is here. Not sure what this all entails. This is part of career mode or what this is. I don't think it's career mode, but maybe you can see this guy's talking to him. This could be part of the pre-race stuff. And we got a NASCAR official here hanging out. Very cool. Neat screenshot here, and it showcases the lighting for sure. All right, so this screenshot is New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Not a fan of the sky color here. Here's that Unreal Engine lens flare I'm not a huge fan of. Not a lot to say here in this one. The crowd doesn't look very good here. The shadows should be a lot harsher there based on the placement of the sun. But to me, it kind of looks like they just kind of forced the sun there. Here's another shot. Here we are at, looks like Watkins Glen. And you can see the catch fence all lit up, looking beautiful here. Very nice screenshot. Again, I'd like to see these screenshots during the noon, like during the day, 3 p.m., like during race time, instead of these dusk and morning shots. So here is part of the Champions Edition. You're going to get Bill Elliott as a playable racer. Here's the car you're going to get. It's the Melling Performance Pro or parts car here. And this is shot at Atlanta. This is not showing the new Atlanta that they're going to make. This is the old Atlanta. You can tell by the seams here. Atlanta looks really, really good here, actually. So we know these next few shots are going to be at Atlanta and Bill Elliott's car. So here's another shot here going around at Atlanta. You can tell because of the folds of honor stuff here in the background. Very nice looking. Not sure what the shadowing's doing here, but it's got that purplish blue hue happening there. So it kind of screams like it's got a little bit of a, I don't know, doctored screenshot feel to it. Next, we got this shot here. That grass looking a little more yellow. Not too great there. The car looks a lot better here as it's getting lit up by the sun, but I wish we would have seen these shots again during like noon or something. This shot here is where things get kind of weird. This screams to me just like NASCAR heat style. Not all the assets we see here on the right-hand side, but the coloring of the sky and this has got that kind of like unity look to it that we've seen in the previous heat games. So I don't know what's going on here. This might have been early on in development when they took these screenshots. That's always a possibility. Here's a shot of him driving out to pit road. So This is cool because we can see that the car is actually drivable, maybe unless they placed it here for the screenshot, as it's driving up here to pit road out of the garage area. So this is interesting for sure. Very cool. And I'm noticing there's still people up there. So I don't know if they have people up there all the time or if it's only during race time that we're going to see that during practice. That's where all the spotters are and stuff. And another shot here of the car on the start-finish line at Atlanta. And again, here we are. It doesn't look so impressive right here at all. It's got that washed out yellow kind of look to the track we've seen before. And this could be just, sun placement and the color of the grass just not helping the shot here. But this looks like it's straight out of NASCAR heat, if you ask me. Here's another shot of that car getting out to pit road, just a different angle. And you can see the attention to detail here of the little crew chief stations. And you can see some fans hanging out here. There'd be a little person there to be, blowing the whistle saying, watch out, we got a car coming through. And Chase Elliott and his father next to each other. Very cool shot here. It just looks good. Like they brought that sun up a little bit more for this shot, and it shows. Another thing that you see in here is that the lighting on the actual windshield looks like that's got like a cake dust on it or something. I don't know what's going on with that. As far as the lighting goes, it looks very, very strange to me. Maybe they need a windshield tear off, or maybe they're trying to showcase that you get, grime and buildup on the cars. I don't know what that is all about. Another shot showing the car departing from a pit stall here. And we've noticed this in the trailer that the cars are leaving the pit stalls from different places other than the first spot. So I think the fact that we can, change pit road strategy while we're out there on the track says that I think we are no longer going to have to worry about only having the front pit road spot anymore. So I think we can finally have a box where we qualified. So this is the only shot I could find of what it looks like gameplay. And it's Joey Logano's car completely covered in what looks like baby oil. And then we got the 20 car on the inside of Christopher Bell. I'm trying to figure out what track this is. This could be Pocono, based on this. I'm really not sure. I don't see the trees going all the way down there, the pines. So hard to say if that's Pocono or what track it is. I thought it was Auto Club at first, and I was like, no, it's not Auto Club. They don't have that anymore. Could be Michigan. I'm not sure. If you know, let me know in the comments below. But this looks like we have an idea of what to expect as far as the chase camera goes and the placement of it. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this extensive trailer breakdown and also a little news segment, let you know what to expect. I will let you know more as things come along. I have not had any emails back and forth with them. I know as much as you do. I don't think I'm doing any promo for this game. No one's contacted me this year, so I don't know. So I'm just like you, and I'm excited, and I'm also, holding my reservations here as well. So let me know what you thought of the trailer of NASCAR 21 Ignition. Don't like the name. Wish they would just stick with NASCAR 21 and so forth. That would make a lot more sense to me. But anyway, that'll do it. I'll see you next time. Take care. I often get asked, Jeff, do you have any merch? And the answer is yes. You can check out the link in the description, or you can just click right here on this video and it will take you to the merch store. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I do appreciate it, guys.